Paying attention is important in life because if we don't do it, the habit creeps in. And so we live life on autopilot and we don't flow with what's in front of us and optimize our life in the best possible way.
Paul, what's that saying you like to say about sailing for a port is not favorable? I can't remember how that quote goes.
It's a quote by Seneca, is no wind is favorable if you don't know what port you're steering for.
So what that means basically is if you don't have this vision of where you're going in life, you're going to meander and go all over the place.
Yeah, because life's going to move you here, move you there. You're going to be like a cork in the ocean.
Right. But what about, we're talking about paying attention, but what about the, almost in some ways, a little bit of the antithesis of that, which is that you have this thing that you want to get to and you're driving toward it, and you realize that along the way, that path isn't right. Something about it's not working the way you think it should, and things are going wrong in your life. But yet you have this thing, so you just keep going for it. Right. What do you do in that situation?
It's interesting because, we're taught to power through things.
Right.
At a very early age.
Right.
And especially in sports.
Right.
Just do it again, do it again.
Yeah.
Hit that, run through that brick wall again until you get. At some point though, it all comes from what you believe life is. I believe life is easy.
Right.
Okay?
I know you do.
I know you know that.
That's why I can't say that. You don't let me say the word hard.
That's right.
Because life is easy.
Life is easy. So it's not meant to be getting concussions and pounding your head into a brick wall. Right. Let's think of a better way. Let's go around the wall. Let's go over the wall. Let's do something different. Let's go underneath the wall. Let's dig a hole. Let's dig an underground hole.
We take honor in running ourselves into a brick wall time and again.
We beat ourselves up.
And yeah, so we got a bloody head.
Yes.
And we still haven't knocked that wall over.
But then we can say, well, we made it.
We got through. No, we didn't make it. We're still hitting our head against that wall.
Maybe we haven't.
Yeah. So
maybe ultimately we do, but we're not happy about it because we have our head hurts. We have blood, and we don't look too good.
Yeah. So the idea, I guess, would be that it's not so much that port that you're sailing for changes, it's just the way you get to that port. And so instead of going through the brick wall, you learn to figure out how to go around it, go over it, and have different ways of navigating your life that isn't the straight line that you had originally envisioned.
And life is not linear.
No.
It's 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. There's a fine line, though, between grit and resilience, which we must have to accomplish our objectives and our endeavors.
Right.
And learning and knowing when to pivot.
Right. Stupid stubbornness.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm gritty, I'm resilient, I'm going to keep running myself through this brick wall.
Or it's also autopilot stuff again, which we've talked about. It's just
habit.
The habit. You're in this habit. This is how we do things. This is what we do. No, pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
Call an audible.
I was just going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. You're a quarterback, you call an audible. Yeah. So you have a defense that lines up in front of you. You've called the play, and it's a running play, and they've got 9 guys in the box, and they're all stacked up. The stubborn guy's going to be like, hey, man, we're dedicated to running the ball. We're going to run the ball. And, after 3 plays of no gain, you kind of start figuring out, hey, maybe we should throw the ball. And when we see them lined up that way, why don't we change the play?
If you can throw it.
If
you can.
Well, so hopefully you got a quarterback who can throw. So, if you got a team with a quarterback who can't throw it, you got a problem. You got a whole other set of problems.
So, assuming you have the talent or the gifts or whatever to accomplish by shifting what you want to do, you throw the ball. You throw it. Take what they give you. Right. That's the old.
Take what life gives you.
Take what life gives you. Right. Now, you also you temper that with. Go capture the life you want. Right. Go take it, right? But also be willing to go with the flow and be willing to adjust and adapt. And that's what paying attention is all about. It's being aware of what's going on in your sphere, in your world, and if you continue to get the same messaging after you're trying an attempt of some business endeavor or whatever it might be, or if it's a sports thing, and it's not working, hey, maybe the other side's figured it out, right. It could be time to shift gears a little bit.
Also, I think you talked about the habit and the subconscious. I think we get caught in these ruts because you get up in the morning, you go to work, you come home, you drive the same way to work that you drive the way home, and it becomes this pattern of behavior that you don't break out of, and you become almost hypnotized by your life, and you don't pay attention to those things. And there's a great song, where I can't remember how the lyrics go, but something about watching a guy or watching a lady dance with some other guy, and that lady dancing with the other guy was the guy's former wife because he wasn't paying attention. He was so caught up in his own world and his own rut that he didn't pay attention to his wife and give her the love and respect that she deserves. And now he's watching her dance with somebody else, right? So it's also paying attention even to your relationships in your life.
Well, you take things for granted.
Right, we all take things for granted.
We all take things for granted. But if you're in the state of the present mind, you don't, which means you're seeing what's going on. You're not just walking out of your front door to go to work the next day, you're seeing the sunrise, or you're seeing clear skies, or you're seeing beautiful cloud coverage, or whatever it might be. Right. You're paying attention to what's in front of you. Right. And that takes you out of this habitual mode. And being present is a word that's used a lot today.
Being present, right.
That's just being aware, being in the moment, and being conscious conscious of what's going on, and not living your life in the subconscious mind.
Yeah, so staying present is such a big part of our current vocabulary. And I think oftentimes people don't even know what that means. When you say being present, what does being present actually mean? Paying attention to what?
In the moment. Like right now, we're having a conversation. Right. And I'm not thinking about anything else other than our conversation, right, about you being here. If we're having a conversation, but I'm thinking about something else, we're really not having a conversation.
That's a great point. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people, they're already thinking about something else while they're in the moment they're in, and they're losing that moment because they're thinking about something else.
It's like when I go to conferences now where there are lots of people, and I had this objective, I've got to see these people, I've got to talk to so-and-so or so-and-so, and I used to, a decade ago, go to these meetings and talk to somebody, but I'd be looking.
Who are we going to talk to next?
Oh, is that so-and-so? No, is that so-and-so? And I wouldn't be given full attention here. I don't do that anymore. Right. I don't do that anymore because of my whole shift of perspective of building relationships, right, and I'm not bringing honor to the person I'm with. And some of the really most profound people that are out there today, they make you feel like you're the only person in the world. Right. And if they've got such a stature and they're making you feel like that, the President of the United States or whoever it might be, I mean, that's a really cool thing. And that's where it's supposed to be. The habit is not conscious. The habit is in the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, right? It's back in here. And the habit is the issue in life. Right. The habit is the issue because we just do things and we don't even know why we do them. It's only because we've been doing them. And certain things may trigger it, and we go to that. And so it's a habit. Why does that work? It's because it's the tapes that are playing in the subconscious mind continue to play and play and play. Right. And again, we don't even know why we're doing it. So Einstein has a quote. It's a famous quote, right? And one definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Right. So that's what the habit is, and we just keep doing the same thing and thinking, well, something new is going to happen. It's got to, right? Instead of stepping back, like being an observer of ourselves, and seeing how we've been living our life and what we've been doing.
That's an interesting thing. I'm going to zero in on that. So in the moment right now, you can't step out and observe yourself because then you wouldn't be having this conversation with me. So how would you then take that time to observe your life, as you said, and really pay attention to the things that have been happening so that you can make the necessarily sort of maybe oftentimes even nuanced adjustments to a better way? You
take that observer view when you're in the habit mode. You've got to be, it's a trick, you got to be conscious of know what you're doing and step out of it and view, hey, like a game board. You play a game board, it's almost like you're moving your piece around the game board. Right. That's what I would use as the observer. You're moving your piece on the game board of life, right? Right. That's being an observer. So I can't observe myself when I'm having a conversation with you, but I can when I'm driving a car or I'm sitting at home having a cup of coffee and watching the news at night. I can be an observer because I'm kind of glazed over. I'm not really dialed in.
Do you give yourself time to really just sit and think about life and think about who you are and give yourself that time to self-analyze?
Yes, that's what we all need to do. It doesn't matter who we are. We all need to take those moments in life to assess and evaluate how we're living our life. Are we doing what we want to do? What's important to us? Why are we here? Who should I be hanging out with? All of these major questions that need to be answered that we don't answer because we're too busy living in the habit mode, in the subconscious mind, and we just go through life floating around, right? And this is what we're talking about, paying attention.
Yeah.
Paying attention to our life and seeing what's in front of us.
Yeah. And I like to say being a student of ourselves. Like,
Sure.
Some of us have gone to college and we've learned how to study history and math and English, and we never really study ourselves. And we should become a PhD of ourselves. So we know who we are, what makes us tick, and all those other things that are important to us. And if we, as you said, are in the habit mode and subconscious mode, we don't take time to do that. We just keep meandering along. Would you say that's right?
I would say that's totally right. Yeah, we get up in the morning and we do the same thing over and over again. Change things up, do things differently, change up the routine, That's a good thing. That's a good thing to change things up because then we might find a new path and maybe develop better habits in ways that are more meaningful to us becoming who we want to become.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
This is the part where we're supposed to tell people to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Okay, will you please do that then? I mean,
Yeah.
if you enjoy it,
Yeah.
please do.
And if you don't, do it anyways, because we need your help.
We do.
Also, we have a website called GameChangeNation.com. Just go there and subscribe and you'll get tons of free content.
And what we're really trying to do is create a community of people that love sports and the great lessons that we learn from sports, but we want to hear from you.
We do. So we're going to have a bunch of social media pages from TikTok to Instagram to Twitter to Facebook. Instagram, I probably already said all of them. Please join them and tell us your stories. We'd love to hear from you. Oh, and we wrote a book.
Oh,
Forgot about that.
Forgot that.
The book is called Through the Tunnel. It's available on Amazon now. If you go straight down here to this link that you can see below us, you will be able to purchase it. We'd love it if you could do it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.